here we are again now, and it's like no time has passed. Gazing out upon the sunset as it sinks into the night. Many times it seemed as though a given day might be our last. Face to face with certain death, yet somehow coming out alright. I don't think that we have any cause to lament, but there's quite a lot of thrilling intent, thrilling intent, thrilling intent, thrilling intent.
Marcus and Ash, to you, some time passes, almost hours, seemingly locked away within the twisting mists of the dreamscape. Harlock, you just watch Marcus fucking faceplant on the ground. Ash falls out of a tree in the corner. She hits the ground with an ugly thwack.
As they do.
You take a look around, and Lyra actually seems more or less fine, just a little dazed on the ground. What is happening?
I'm not in the best condition right now, am I?
No, I was about to bring up your currently, very low hit point value. You doing okay there? He remembers his rank. Boss salutes!
I wouldn't tell you if I wasn't.
You hear Inien dragging herself up off the ground. Oh, what? Did they get KO'd again? Come on!
I think we're the only ones with any willpower here.
As you say that, you hear a sudden call through the woods. A howling that suddenly rises up from the distant castle. It's as if this creature's passage has caused the monsters in the area around to be thrown into a frenzy. Harlock, how good's your hearing, would you say? Normal human levels? Maybe a step beyond, or...
Maybe a step behind, because she's got a horrible burn on one ear.
Fair enough. The noise echoes around and almost gives you, it activates that tinnitus. You get that feeling of when the portal first depressurized in front of you, and you felt the power of the other side, almost pulling the blood from your body. For a second, you feel dizzy and confused, but you're Harlock. You don't fall over, you stay standing.
No, thank you. I'm not going to go there.
You hear the call travel all around you, and you hear things moving through the brush. Then you hear a gigantic and ugly stomp in the distance. However, preceding it, something enters the clearing. The size of a carriage or something, maybe even a little bigger. A long, almost slimy, scaly creature impacts the sand, sending up a layer of salt and spray. You have enough time to grab the kid in front of you and dive back as something enters the clearing.
Glad to see your reflexes are as good as ever.
He points at the gigantic creature. It looks at you and lowers its head. Inien immediately behind you. Really? Immediately? We are hurting!
Welcome home, Inien.
Yeah, no, wouldn't miss it for the world. I would do anything to miss this, in fact. Harlock waits as the creature enters the clearing, preparing for an opportunity. Inien, however, steps forward, more than happy to take advantage of this creature's apparent shock at seeing people alive near here. Okay, logically, what's happening here? Why would it find us here now? These things aren't supposed to move around in the daytime, she says, as she picks up Marcus and freezes him solid in a block of ice, dumping him over here.
I'm sure we have some sort of cursed mark.
I mean, we were born in Freeark. Birthmarks are cursed marks. Like, any mark is a cursed mark.
Freckles are cursed marks.
Inien's going to cast a spell on Harlock. This is going to... Harlock, you suddenly feel the air around you begin to vibrate and hum. A magical set of armor seems to separate you from the real world. Weightless and soundless, it's going to bump up your protections against this creature slightly.
Oh, good. I've been looking forward to this tag team. We never got to run Castle Crowhenge together.
That's a good point. I think we could have shredded it if it wasn't, weird this time.
Yeah.
Seeing the flash of magic, it lowers its eyes as if enraged. It dives forward and sends up another spray of salt as it approaches and lashes out at both Lyra and Harlock, trying to get to Inien. Harlock, you managed to put up your arm just in time as the creature gnashes its teeth at you. It digs into both your mechanical arm and the suit of armor around you, dealing no damage. You manage to just throw it down to the side where it hits the ground, embedding pebbles and other rocks in its face.
That answers
Lyra,
my first question. Does my arm still work?
Your arm is completely fine. It apparently struck down in the areas between the joints. Lyra, on the other hand, does significantly worse. It gnashes and grabs his torso, digging in with its teeth.
Oh.
However, Lyra's sort of squiggly and bony body isn't exactly what it expects. It's used to devouring humans, after all. The arm quickly slides out from its grasp, only taking sort of glancing damage. My life flashed before my eyes there. That was scary. Okay. He
First
reaches out, lightning flashing flashing across his palm, and grips the creature's nose, attempting to send a blast through it. You hear a sudden thunder crack, once again activating her tinnitus for half a second. Inien also winces, her eardrums thoroughly destroyed through repeated fireball castings. The creature goes stumbling backwards, wincing, a trail of smoke connecting Lyra and the thing. Yeah, first time.
Okay. Regaining her senses, Harlock realizes what she has to do. She had established a web of wire in the previous battle. And what she's going to do is she's going to snick, and her sickle arm is going to snap into place. She's going to charge in at the speed of Harlock, and she's going to jab that sickle right into the jawbone of this creature, catching it like the fish dog it is. And then she's going to proceed to pull the cord that is still attached to her arm, to the web, and that she's going to pull the cord which is attached to her arm and basically draw the fish dog up into the net.
Harlock, you slam the release on your arm, detaching it and throwing the creature free. Its gigantic body pulled into the air by the forces of enchanted, just reinforced nylon. It's ripped into the air by its throat. The different parts of the web actually catch it. It's crisscrossed almost like a pentagram across this arena. Your various moves, deliberate and considered. This thing is a little larger than you expected, but your trap will work just fine. It flies up and hits one of the ropes on the top of its back, sending it careening end over end. The other side of the rope beneath catches on one of its legs, immediately knotting and tying tight. Your arm flits backwards, reconnecting point to point, but the creature doesn't move. It's caught at the ball at the center. The entire time, the rope dashing along it, burning it, finally binding inwards and pulling tight. In a split second, Harlock, you watch as your arm binds inwards, its mechanism and retraction mechanic forcing all of the ropes together. Now evenly spaced out across its entire body, they pull in, bind, and you hear a crack. Your arm lands on the ground next to you, almost where it started. The creature limply falls to the ground.
I love when I don't have to make a new trap. Harlock says as she clicks her arm back on.
Inien just puts up, like, she was prepping a spell and she just looks at you like, normally her eyes are full of glitter and sass. Now they're just fucking empty. She's like, wow, Harlock's really strong.
See, I'm telling you, we would have crushed an old Crowhenge. She winces as she there's like a little mechanism where she has to kind of turn the arm so it kind of seals itself into place.
You hear another howl as you hear more and more creatures bearing down on your location. They seem to be interested in whatever the steward had or has. Okay, quick question. Do we take whatever artifact it had?
Yes. Do we have anything that can maybe dampen the sound that it's making?
Now that is something that I can do. Dampen the sound? No. Dampen the curse? Yes. Inien jumps over and slides. She picks up a lantern off the ground and immediately encases it in a bubble of dirt. Okay, yeah, grave dirt should help this. This has been purified. This is meant to keep vampires asleep. She pops down on the ground. Same amount of curse magic, right? Oh god, I hope it's the same. Starts to jog in place for a second. Oh shit, wait, more are coming. Oh no, Marcus is over. Yeah, I'm gonna go defrost Marcus. You grab Ash.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go grab team leader. Hold on. Yeah.
That's
Lyra's...
actually super. Harlock kind of monologues to herself for a second. That's super interesting because she's never seen a steward outside of Crowhenge. So the fact that what I assume is happening is this steward is dead, and now all the other monsters are trying to get that lantern so they can become a steward. Is that what's going on right now?
You! Okay. Harlock quickly puts 2 and 2 together. She figures out exactly how this mechanic works, and you know what? Harlock, as you're glancing across the ground, you see something lying there on the ground. It almost seems to flash and catch your eye. It's something that Inien missed amidst the debris, but nothing can escape your analytic gaze. You see something significant standing out amidst the steward's remains as Lyra panics and Inien quickly holds up her defroster hand to get Marcus out of the ice cube that she just regrettably put him in. Do you approach whatever? It appears to be a card of some variety.
A card? Yeah, let's see what that's about. Maybe I could become a steward. If things go wrong.
You pick up a card off the ground and you take a look at it. You can feel you're used to Crowhenge and you can feel the dark magics of the castle thrumming through the construction. It's clear that this thing is obviously printed on paper. Like, it'd be weird if it wasn't, but at the same time you get the sense that this was made magically. It's not of this world. Taking a look at the card stock, it seems to almost squirm in your fingers as if every little bit of linen creating this thing was alive, and it creates a gross feeling on your like flesh hand. So you move it over to your stone hand. And
I'm gonna move it
better.
I'm gonna move it to my stone hand. I'm gonna crush it like Persona.
Okay, really quick. You take a look at what's on the surface of the card. You see a pattern that resembles something all too familiar to you. At first, it's painted in heavy inks, harsh blacks and standoffish yellows and purples. However, you can see a marking near the bottom that at first seems to be in a language foreign to you, but your eyes adjust, you're used to Crowhenge, and you see that this is labeled the Alchemy Lab. And what's depicted in the card seems to be a location that you're intimately familiar with. This is the very lab that you grew up in, that you discovered the wonders of not only alchemy, but also the terrors of alchemy. This card seems to contain whatever the Harlock Mansion Alchemy Lab did.
What?
You just found your missing section of house.
Oh, how convenient. I can just move it to the new base.
Harlock, you begin to process exactly what's happening here. Why the steward would go outside and what its goals were. The castle is trying to grow. It wants to get bigger. It stole the most important alchemy lab that it could, and it was trying to return it to itself. You managed to kill the messenger before the parcel arrived, and for that, you can tell you've made the castle weaker.
Nice.
Inien finishes defrosting Marcus. What's up, Harlock? You find something interesting?
Yeah, that whole wing of my house that disappeared.
What in the actual fuck? Okay, no, let's walk and talk. Let's walk and talk.
Yeah, we should leave, but they made it portable. It's really convenient.
That's extremely convenient. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Let's talk about Crowhenge things on the way back. Oh, boy, this is a mess. Inien backpacks Marcus and you take off. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Gregor travels with an entourage of Alm and Astra. You just finished dropping off all of the weakened and confused dreamers to take refuge in the Underpoint. You grabbed the remaining parts of the Freearchy militia and headed out, because as your group properly surmised, if you were all hit by that sleep attack, it would simply be over. However, during your return, you hear a gigantic scream. Likely the same scream that Harlock heard, but at a different time. Or in a different place. And you hear things begin to shift through the woods. Gregor, how good is your hearing?
My hearing is very good.
You can tell that this call in particular isn't coming from Castle Crowhenge. Whatever is making this noise, whatever is calling up all the creatures around you, isn't from the castle itself. It's coming from closer to the ocean. Furthermore, you can tell based on the exact noise, tone, and timbre of this thing, this is likely the gigantic creature that you encountered the other night that poked its head in the clearing. Only such a creature of such a size could make this noise. If you had to guess based on the sound, you could pinpoint where this thing is and likely stop any further attacks from these creatures. So, right now, Gregor, you have a choice, actually. You've got reinforcements. You heard this sound. Are you going to travel to back up the other party members? Or are you going to head to this, the source of this noise?
Okay, everyone. Ignore that. Ignore that. We keep going. We meet up with everybody, make sure everything's okay. Then we can go kill stuff.
Righto. I will do my best to get us back. The forests seem to be alive right now, and I don't know how close I can get us, but I'll do my best.
Astra, you're
smiles.
1 in a million.
Astra smiles at you, and you begin to enter the trance, vanishing with a step. You get to the old barricade, the area that you just told all of the other Freearchy to de-staff. It's been completely abandoned. They've traveled either to Underpoint or back up to Steel Point to drag in their wounded commander. This place is now more or less abandoned. There's still plenty of goods that you can see that you could easily retrieve to reinforce your position in Underpoint, but you got a job. You're moving fast. However, something else is moving fast too, and you feel the presence of something around you on all sides. More of those creatures, the minions of that great beast, slide and slam through the barricade. One impaling itself on the spikes immediately in front of you. They all bear down, and you get ready. You turn towards the salt flats to meet your friends, but something's already standing in front of you. You realize you're hemmed in. A creature from behind begins to approach, hiding as if drawn by maybe someone who was left behind. You realize you're surrounded. Gregor, I'm really sorry. Normally we can't be tracked like this. I'm not sure what's happening.
No helping it now. Astra, grab my back.
Astra grabs your back.
I need you to turn me around in a circle. Gregor assumes the stance of clarity.
Oh my god.
Pivot me.
She spins you around in a circle, and you assume the stance of clarity, but it's weird. All of your instincts definitely say that this is the dangerous circumstance. Like, you're surrounded on all sides by big monsters that are going to eat you alive, but you feel a weird amount of calmness, and you don't think it's because you feel particularly powerful in this moment. You don't think it's because you feel particularly capable or that you can easily take these things. It's because there's something else. You can feel it looking at you. You can feel it sensing you. And all of your primal instincts scream at once that is the bigger threat. That is the bigger problem. Meanwhile, atop the castle, on a distant buttress, a metallic form hunkers down, and with one brutal motion, leaps into the cool air.
What?
Yeah! You got a 20, motherfucker! So next session, we're starting off with
Against
a fucking
the Iron
encounter.
Golem?
We get an encounter against the ruler of the castle!
What?
Shit!